Okay, so I did right. So in Amsterdam, I went to go find the foster parents, and I saw some people that looked similar to them, but it wasn't them, and I didn't know what happened to them, and I get kidnapped again. But I guess Chuck or someone had changed my name. We went to either a Germanic country or people were speaking German, and they changed my name to Tara space Lea space Seabolt. It means some nasty thing in German. I don't remember what it means if I ever knew what it meant. So then I get, I guess, sedated and stuck in a crate and shipped off to the United States of America, I presume New York. So it was freezing cold in the crate, and there was a child in another crate next to me, a male child. He had dark, curly, thick hair. I believe he passed, well, they told me he passed away. Anyway, I would pretend like I was a dog. I made whining sounds like a dog because I wasn't sure what they would do if they found out I was a human. And somebody slipped us, it was just the other child did the same thing. I'm presuming he got the same thing I did. I got a blanket and occasional food and water. He said he didn't feel like eating anymore, that he didn't like it. I think he was maybe Asian, or I don't remember what they fed us, but it wasn't something that he would normally eat, and it would make him sick, because I don't think they put anything in it, but I think maybe he was allergic to whatever they were giving us. I don't know why, but he didn't want to eat anymore, and he said God said it was okay, and so he passed away. And when we got to the New York, I think it was I guess it was the medical examiners, whatever that's called. I asked if I could see him, and they wouldn't let me see his body because they said he was too badly decomposed. So I asked for a lock of his hair because I knew he shouldn't be in the crate, and he probably was kidnapped like me, and I was hoping I could do DNA and find out who he was supposed to belong to and tell them what happened to him, that I knew what happened to him. I had a locket, so I put his hair in my locket, in my pocket. Eventually Chuck found it, and he burned the child's hair, and he replaced it with his own hair. So I guess I was put in some sort of hospital to make sure I was okay. And I don't remember why, but I started to get scared, and I was running from someone at the hospital, and I accidentally went into the psych ward. Her name was Samantha Waters. That was not her real name. That was her, I guess, you gotta be a psychiatrist, or the crazy, psychopathic, criminally insane people name. They locked us in there. They killed all the security guards, hung them like meat. We escaped through a window. There was like a security guard or police officer or something drove us away. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently Chuck got me back, and we went to DC. When we were in DC, January 1977, where it was Chuck, Loretta, Sr., and me. And Chuck said to the then president, which he lied, he said something like, "This is the whore that I fell in love with in Amsterdam," presuming he's talking about Loretta, Sr. Well, I said something to the president like, it sounds like he's talking about Loretta, doesn't it? Or something like that. And he didn't quite know what to make of it. He's staring at this little toddler going, well, duh, yeah, he's talking about Loretta. And I'm thinking, oh, he's not really talking about Loretta. I'm not a whore, and you can't fall in love with a toddler. Toddlers aren't whores, sorry. So he doesn't get it. He issues this birth certificate that says report of U.S. citizen born abroad. I took the citizenship test. Super smart kid. They gave me the fucked up version. I still got it right. I passed it. Citizen. I don't think you can deport a kidnap victim anyway. Seeing as though, you didn't kidnap me. So, right. So then after DC, we go to Vienna, where Loretta's sister lives, Jane Conway. Jane Kedlarkin. I guess her maiden name was Lysett, Lysaght. So she had married a man named Oz. I think it's Ouze is how you spell it, not quite sure. They said he was Turkish, but Keglarkin sounds like an Irish name to me. I don't know. Supposedly Jane and Oz had 2 children, David and Jeffrey. You're just going to go check out the extended family for that. Anyway. Right, so for some reason I thought Oz was my father for a minute there. They kept telling me I was going to meet my father, and this stranger walked in, so I was like, is that my father? Whatever. So somewhere we go from Vienna, Virginia to South Boston, Virginia to hang out with Sylvia, Chuck's mother, supposedly, who is a dead ringer, or was a dead ringer. She passed away in 05-ish for Eva Braun. There's a picture on this website that has a bunch of Nazi Hitler pictures of supposedly Hitler, only he looks slightly different in all of these photographs, and it looks like Sylvia dressed up to be Hitler in this one specific photo. I couldn't find it again. So I think I was in 3rd grade. They put me in 3rd grade in South Boston, I think. I sent a letter to the CIA saying I'm a kidnap victim. Could you please come rescue me? Because the FBI didn't do anything. Or they kidnapped me again, or whatever the heck. I don't remember the exact words on this. But I put Cooper on the thing because I couldn't fit it into my little code, copper. But I even wrote on there, and I translated on the back. Oh, you got to do read that. But do they come? Because I invited them to like it was a parent-child occupation day thing. But they didn't come. And I sobbed for like 45 minutes to my poor teacher. She's like, I got to go pick my kids up, and there's Chuck at the door. And I'm just like, not crying. So I didn't want to go back with Chuck, but I had no choice because teacher had to go take care of her own children. And there's Chuck. Where have you been? I've been sitting here. I was talking to teacher, doing my homework. Anyway, right. So I think they actually took me to Reston, Virginia, or wherever the CIA was then at the time. And Chuck convinces them I'm crazy. I get an ocular, I don't know what it's called. It's described to me as nothing but an ocular lobotomy. Robert was there. There was some other female there who, weirdly enough, Robert helped me learn to walk again. And it didn't take me that long. It really made me angry that my vocabulary had to come back again. And whatever. Tying your shoes again, all that crap, learning that shit all over again. So he helps me walk, and then there's this weird female there that's pretending to help him walk. Or he helped her walk or something. I don't know. It was just weird. Just bizarre. So the ocular lobotomy, the doctor, I think, was supposed to do it on Chuck. But there was that, she's me, or I'm her, or whatever. So they pretty much forced the guy to do it on me and not Chuck, a toddler. A toddler needs a lobotomy. Sure they do. That's sarcasm, FBI. So, right, BFE USA, I don't know how, whatever. We ended up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, probably fall of 77 to 79, however long it takes Chuck to graduate from LSU Law School. He said he went to UVA, University of Virginia. I can't remember if he says Spanish undergraduate or history undergraduate, or English undergraduate. But said he was on the baseball team and he wanted to go to med school, so he probably had the med prerequisites. I don't know. But they wouldn't let him in med school, so he said he was going to go to law school instead. But LSU lets anyone in their law school if you just pay or you have a loan or whatever. I guess you still have to take the law school admission test, but I don't know. So we end up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Chuck doesn't want to pay for daycare for me. So I go to school with Chuck. Apparently he needs someone to read the law books to him because I don't think he still can read law books and not understand you can't just read a law book if it says reference this. You got to go back and find that book and reference that law, and it could take you 10 fucking years just to look up a single law. It's really annoying. But anyway, so Samson and Rashid live in the apartment above us. We're in married student housing. But before married student housing, let me regress a little bit. I don't know where we were, like some crappy hotel or some cheap-ass apartments or something. But Nora was there with, I think, Red from Jimmy John's here. Red. And she's this little girl that invited me over for tea. She's older than me. And so we have this tea, and then Nora comes in and she says, that's the daughter, the kid of the BITCH that's staring at you in the window. Get out of my house. She doesn't want it. So I'm like, fine, I didn't invite you over. Whatever. So then we go to married student housing, and there's this like razor wire on top of the chain link fence. So it's right across the street from the ghetto of Baton Rouge, or one of the ghettos, I guess. And Samson and Rashid live in the apartment above us. They have one daughter at the time, Lila, excuse me. I got that air clap inside. Lila, and she's super skinny, bound to a wheelchair, supposedly has some genetic disorder. Only she smiles when I come in the room, and I'm like, she's obviously cognizant. They let me feed her, so I feed her, and she didn't like her food, so I give her my food, make sure it was okay. And I'm like, wondering what the hell they're doing to this kid. But Samsari would make me Earl Grey tea, which was just milk with a little bit of Earl Grey and sugar. Oh, it was so good. But Lila loved it too. So I give her some of my tea, feed the girl. Anyway, Trent Godwin was there. He said, and I quote, his dad is the meanest man in the world. And I'm thinking, dude, we must have the same father. Are you my brother? Because I knew my dad was the meanest man in the world. Fucking way. He looked at me like, I was, why do you think I'm your brother? Because my dad is really the meanest. And he's like, I said, yeah, I think he is. Anyway, Tickle Me Elmo doll. So one of the kids from across the street stole my Tickle Me Elmo doll. I can lure me over there with the Tickle Me Elmo doll. I don't know if he was in the married student housing apartment and stole it. I suppose left it in the playground. Right, like I do that shit. Anyway, I never got it back. And then law school and vet school. Then I get to meet Dr. Pohl, who has a dairy farm or cow farm or something like that. I get to stick my hand up the cow's butt. It's just really kind of gross, but someone's got to do it. And then we named all the little cows there. That's all I remember about that. Then we moved to New Orleans, Louisiana. We're in this yellow duplex. That's when I went to pre-K or K or something at Sacred Heart Academy. Tanya was in my class, Tanya Isabel Baker. And I would just get aggravated because I would start to play with something, dinky little toddler toys, and they couldn't figure out, I show them how to do it, and they get mad that I show them, but then they get mad that they couldn't do it, and I'm like, dude, just freaking leave me alone. Just go play with the toys. I just sit and read. That's it. And the kids would come and take the books from me, and I'm like going, no manners, just no manners. So then we got called in the principal's office for some reason, for something. I had to take an intelligence test or something. They were trying to get me out of the pre-K or whatever class I was in, put me in a better grade or something. And Chuck and Loretta showed up, and I was just like, so they said I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't talk. I would be like, I don't know. I don't remember what they asked me or anything. But I guess I got scared of getting brainwashed again, or getting flashed again, or getting the shit beat out of me again. So I didn't know what to do. I was trying to decide, should I take this test? Should I fake it and be stupid? Or what should I do? So then Chuck and Loretta show up, and I'm like, oh, Mom, Dad. So Chuck refused to let me get tested or whatever, and back home I go. All my records, school records, were sealed, by the way. I went to Sacred Heart in New Orleans. They wouldn't let me see them. I went to Our Lady of Lourdes in Slidell. They wouldn't let me see them. Sorry, they're sealed. I'm like, well, I'm the child. Why can't I see my own records? So we lived on the top of the yellow duplex, and there was a young couple that lived on the bottom. He had like a broken leg or foot or something. He had these crutches, and he would let us swing on them. It was so fun, except it was kind of scary because there was like at least one or two of me high off the ground. But they died while we were there. I think Chuck killed them just for being nice to me, or I don't know, whatever. So, okay, Tanya Baker. I think Gina was there too for some reason. Chuck drove this old dusty blue Vega or something. Nova. Chevy Nova? Maybe. Was it the same car I had? Anyway, I don't know why we had to go to that school, because Chuck was so embarrassed about the car door. I'm like, why the fuck do you pay for this expensive school? And then someone like had this like tannish liner on the top that was fabric. And someone ripped it or something, and it would hang down on you. And so he ripped the whole thing up. But then there was this like supposed to be cushy stuff to make it cushy, just a teeny little layer, and it was so nasty because the second you touched it, it would sprinkle all over your head. And I'm just going, dear fucking God, let me just walk to school. Anyway. So then we moved to Kings Point in Slidell, Louisiana. Brookter Street, it was a tan house. Chuck must love brown. I fucking hate that color. It's not the least color, but here. It was a, 4-bedroom house, 2 bathrooms, had a backyard, a fenced yard. So neighbors. Lori and Rachel lived across the street from us. They had a little brother, Bubba James. His dad also was Bubba James. Big old guy. I forget their mother's name. She was teeny, skinny little lady. Then there was Cherie. I can't remember her last name. I can't think she had any siblings. Her mother would make us little Barbie clothes that were so pretty. Tito would buy them for Aaron, and I just have to get the hand-me-down Barbie clothes anyway. Then who else? Christopher Lee, who was the redheaded freckle guy. I guess Mark and Joe lived there. I don't remember if they followed us to Slidell or not. I thought they always lived in Baton Rouge, but maybe not. Oh yeah, I already told you about the Bourbon John Baton Rouge. I forgot. I didn't write that down. Right, Kings Point. I was in rec soccer. They let me play rec soccer in Kings Point. Tiffany Ebert was not really my next door neighbor, but she lived like in the neighborhood. I went to Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic school I went through the first half of 3rd grade there. So Michael Marshall was there, Jeremy was there, Amy Kinney or McKinney or something was there. There was a Cherokee Indian girl there who would steal my clothes and my toys. And then Ben Thompson was there, and others were there too. I just didn't write their names down, so I can't think of any right now. Talk about the Michael Marshall asked me if I would be his like girlfriend or something and hold his hand, and I said, well, Tiffany doesn't have a boyfriend, so maybe one of your friends could be Tiffany's boyfriend. And he said no. And I said, well, I guess the answer is no, because I'm not gonna she's not gonna have anyone to play with. Oh, well then I'm gay. I'm gay. I must be gay. I don't like Michael Marshall. Oh, you must be gay, girl. I'm like, fuck you, dumbass. The gym roof was re-roofed at the time. James Henry Fox was the roofer in charge or whatever. The smell would make me sick of that tar or whatever they used. And then there was the old speaker announcement of this, like, we have some acid LSD laced stickers or stamps or somethings running around the playground. Don't touch them. If you find them, go get a teacher. So I'm like going, I'm not having that in my fucking school. So I'm searching the whole area for these freaking stickers, stamps, whatever they are. I could never find them. I don't know whatever happened to that. I guess they found them. Hopefully someone else found them. And I remember the priest had little wiener dogs. They were so, I don't like wiener dogs, but they were nice dogs. So I can hold that against them. And that was when I guess I was not confirmed, but we had, I went to this first communion, we picked out names or something, saint names that we had. I want to be Michael, St. Michael. You can't be St. Michael if you're a girl, Tara. Plus someone already has that. Why don't you pick a female saint? And I was like, well, I researched all the female saints and they've all been like bludgeoned, burned at the stake, raped, murdered. No thanks. So then they said, what about Mary? Well, her son got crucified. I don't want to be her. I want to be like her. No thanks. So they decide, I guess Francis was it, because I liked animals so much. Why don't you pick St. Francis? That's fine. I think that's what I was, St. Francis, whatever name that was in Catholic school in sometime before 3rd grade. I don't remember. All right. So middle of 3rd grade, we moved to Lake Village, South Bundix Lake Court. Huge ass backyard. It's a 1, 2, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom house in Lake Village subdivision. So these, and I went to St. Margaret Mary then, and that was the, new girl in school, Katie Vogt, is having a slumber party and invites me over. And I'm like, great. I get to go to a slumber party. I'm a little scared. My face is... Out pops the Ouija board. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. So it's like, excuse me, Katie's mom, I don't feel good. You think you could take me home or let me call my parents and let me come get me? What's wrong? I don't feel good. Not good enough for her. I said, fine. So what's really wrong? They're playing with the Ouija board in there. I don't want them to get mad at me. I don't want them to know I don't like the Ouija board. I already told them I don't like it and I don't want to play. I don't want to be around the Ouija board. I don't care if they play it. If you let them play it, that's your decision or their decision or whatever. But can you please take me home or let me call my parents? Katie, put the Ouija board away. Tara doesn't want to play it. Stupid bitch. Why did I do this? Thanks, Katie's mom. Katie's dad was sitting right there and didn't do anything, so I'm like, great. So they put it away, give me dirty looks as I go back in the bedroom, and I'm like, great. So I go down to sleep all the way across the room from these girls, and they pop it out again, and I'm going, great. I'm going to go sleep on the couch. So I go sleep on the couch, and next day, I guess teacher or Chuck comes and picks me up, and whatever. So these are the people that I remember from St. Margaret Mary time. It's like Katie Vogt, Jason Buke, David Baralt, Lisa Valadez, Tanya Mather, Robin Rogers, Melissa Yoakum, Dawn, I didn't even know her last name, and of course Alvira and Helen was in and out. She was there in the beginning and I guess the end. She supposedly moved to Houston and then Africa, whatever. Older grades, David Bruce, Robin Walters, Ryan Aber and Jeff Nyberg were there, I guess, the whole time. Jeff Hoffman and a bunch of Aaron's old friends. Okay, so I didn't write anything else down for her. All right, that's when I was playing the flute, Miss Gums in the band, and Rhonda was first chair. I dethroned her. I was first chair, and then one of the managers from Ruth's Chris decided she wanted to be first chair, and I was like, sorry, girl, you're gonna have to practice a little more than that. So in retaliation for me not losing first chair, Miss Gomes on our, oh God, that's right. So I have to play the xylophone. I can't play the flute. I play the ding, ding, ding. No one hears the shit. So I don't know why I bother playing. Our uniforms. White 70s pants. Red polyester, it's all polyester. With this, I don't know, white line of fabric across this. Berets. We had berets, and we had this, what did you call it, a dicky little fake turtleneck thing. It was hideous. And not to mention, I never got to pick out my own hair. Aaron, whatever Aaron wanted, we had to both get. So it was like poodle, dorky hair, short, and it was always the, what Chuck calls it, the Dorothy Hamill. Bob, I just couldn't stand it. No fair. So I'm walking around with poodle hair with the xylophones in this thing they must have paid Miss Gomes to take off their hands. It was hideous. Anyway, so no My Chemical Romance. You don't get to complain about your cool ass in the fucking band. Whatever. Alright. Then I moved to North Shore High School my freshman year of high school. Still living in Lake Village subdivision. So people I remember from North Shore: Caroline Hefner, Lexi Faircloth, Julie Daly, Shelley Scamardo, Joey Zapresnik, Andrew, Joey's friend. I thought his name was Ballerstad, but that was the name of the CFO, so maybe he's adopted kid of Andrew Ballerstad, same name. Mark Lawson, Elizabeth, still don't know your last name, big nose, red hair. Aaron's grade, Ken Soons, Mark Goodson, Eric Graveson, Reed, I don't know your last name, and Coy, I never knew your last name either. That's just off the top of my head. Alright, so try out for the dance team at North Shore, but it was freshman year. They say no freshmen never make it. I didn't even have time to warm up, and the actual assistant principal came up to me and said, "You're not making the dance team because we don't like your friends." And I'm going, well, how the hell am I supposed to make new friends if you don't let me do anything, you fucking whore? Come to find out, her daughter wanted to be on the dance team, so whatever. So I switched. I would have tried out again sophomore year, but I switched schools. Pope John Paul, sophomore, junior, and senior year. Ben Thompson's there. Lisa Braymon's there. Is Colleen Savage there? I forgot about Colleen from Summer Mary. I don't think so. I don't know where she went for high school. David Bruce, Jeff Nyberg, Jennifer Hodes, I'm guessing is her last name. Nothing special about high school at all. Just miserable. Except for the assistant principal, Ms. Scheck-Snyder, pulled everyone in her little office separately, made sure she knew how to pronounce everyone's name. So she made sure, she asked me, how do you pronounce your name, Tara? Tara Lee Seabolt. What, is it misspelled here? No, it's not misspelled there. So that's Lee, not Leah. It's Lee, not Leah. All right, Tara Lee. So come graduation day, what does she say? Tara Leah Seabolt. Whatever, lady. Like you're fucking retarded or something. Like I don't know how to say my middle name. Like you can't look it up in the dictionary. And then, Sister Dolores decides to pull me into her little office and say something like she was a prostitute in Mexico before the Catholic Church saved her. And I'm going, that's great. I didn't really want to know that. Convinced I was a prostitute or something? I said, I'm not a prostitute. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't need to hear any more of your history, Sister Dolores. You're fucking gross. So, and then Christy Carroll decided I was playing Antichrist music in the restroom. Well, I didn't know what she was talking about. It was Sex Pistols. It was Anarchy in the UK, and I just forgot. It was Antichrist. Excuse me. I smoked in there too. You didn't complain about that. I guess I don't want to die from your clovey crap. So, anyway. Such a delinquent. Antichrist music and cigarettes while you're drinking and smoking pot and whoring yourself out, Christy Carroll. All right, so I applied early admittance to LSU, which would mean I wouldn't have to go to my last semester of high school. I would just get accepted to LSU and just start a semester early. I get a phone call from someone who sounds like my Chuck's secretary, Linda. And I'm going, girl, you sound like Linda. I don't know why the hell you're calling me. She said, sorry, we have to tell you, you're not accepted early admittance to LSU. You have to wait till fall to go, just like everyone else. So, a little disappointed. So, anyway, whatever. I'm accepted fall, it's fine. I was already told I was going to go to LSU anyway. Erin gets to go to Emory and complain that she doesn't have enough money, and Emory cost probably as much as my whole fucking entire college career that one year. Except she comes back whining. Well, Dad told me he would pay for my college. He didn't tell you that, Tara. He didn't tell you he would pay for his. He didn't pay for yours. Mark freaking older sister has a cow when she had to transfer to UGA. Whatever, girl. I don't give a shit. Actually, she had to take a year off from work because she wasn't considered a resident for some reason. I guess it's 2 years, or it was 2 years at the time. I don't know. Or college didn't count. I don't know. Anyway, so she's delayed a year. Worked at Limited in the mall. She had to take the bus. God help her. To work. You know how hard it is to take the bus every day to work? I don't know. No, I walk here. So Linda called right there. Oh, and then so the night before we leave for college, for me, I'm looking through these photos, trying to find something to take, just one picture, just take with me, that I appreciate these people. Just remember who the fuck they are, or just anything. But I come across this photo of Tita and holding Erin. So June 74 would have been Erin March 72, so March 73, March 74. 2 years and 3 months old. So she looks about 2 years and 3 months old, if not a little older. But it's definitely Erin, and it's definitely Loretta, Tita, by this lake with some trees in the background. And on the back of the photo, it says June 1974. Well, I was born July 1974, and I didn't remember all this history because brainwashing, flashing from the lobotomy, drugging, hypnotizing, whatevering me, thanks CIA, grill framing, whatever. So I'm like, wow, June 1974. She definitely should have a baby belly in her little gut there. Nothing. Just looks normal Tita. Not too skinny, not overweight, just whatever, healthy Tita. So Chuck comes in the room and I'm like, excuse me, Chuck, was I adopted or something? Let me in on this secret? And he looks at the photo, and he looks at the back, and he says, oh, no, Tita was just too skinny. She didn't like to eat. I'm going, well, I don't care if you don't eat. You definitely would have a little baby in there. You gotta show something. So then someone who I thought was Tita came from the back, and I'm putting the photo away in the little crappy-ass bookshelf we have. And I say, was I adopted? And it's like condescending, oh, honey, you were never adopted. And it doesn't sound like Tita, so I look up. And way taller than Tita, and I think that's a man, by the way. And I'm just like, okay. So I sneak my little way back into my room, shut the door. I don't eat dinner. I don't come out of the room. Pretty sure we left for school the next day. Mental note, I don't need to call these freak shows ever again, right? Okay, great. So, right, instead of the dorm, they take me to the dorm. I put all my shit in the dorm. Except Mark's there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not staying there. I didn't give a shit where I stayed, really. But Mark said, you're going to stay with me, Tara. So I said, fine, I guess I put all my shit up and moved with Mark, Astor Street. Purplish maroonish house. On the corner of Astor and Nicholson. Not, well, actually, it's not on the corner. It's there's a Asian or Vietnamese or some sort of Oriental food convenience store. Then there's the Astor Street house. There's a Chevron or gas station or something on the other corner across the street from us. And it's just like a little neighborhood. So I lived with Mark for, I guess, 2 years, first 2 years of school. Yeah. Only we broke up right when I turned 21. So let me just go back. I lived with Mark. So I'm in architecture the first year. I was accepted to the architecture school. I didn't. So Mark took me to the what is it? Looked at the book of the human resources or census or wherever they keep salary information. And we look up architects and civil engineers, and he said, look, Tara, a civil engineer makes so much more than an architect. Why don't you be a civil engineer? I'm thinking, yeah, I think I made that very good, because it's not that I didn't like architecture, it wasn't enough math and physics and science, and I figured I could always do the art on my side just as a hobby. And I wouldn't really be doing anything I liked in architecture. It would just be whatever everyone else wanted me to do, and I don't know. I just decided if someone else wanted to be an architect, I could open a space for them at the school and just go back to engineering, or go to engineering, civil engineering. It was the closest thing to architecture. So I cannot remember his name, but the director of civil engineering, or dean of civil engineering, said, Tara, anything but civil engineering. And I'm going, why? It's the closest to architecture. Why? I never switched schools, but he said, I can't keep you out, girl, but I kind of wish I listened to him, but I didn't want to be chemical. I wasn't going to be industrial. I should have done mechanical, I guess, but it's all male-dominated. What difference does it make, really, So I switched to civil, and so I was like, when did I turn 84, 94? It would be 95. That's weird. So I guess I lived with him for 3 years. Or I was just moved back in with him after that. I don't know. Anyway, I remember he took me out to the casinos when I turned 21. Or maybe I was 20. I just remember the drinking age became 21 pretty much on my birthday, on my 21st birthday. So it must have been my 20th birthday that we broke up, because I swear I was only there for 2 years. And I went out drinking with Farah, who tried to convince me it was 18. I'm like, girl, I don't know. I just know I just turned 21. It doesn't really matter to me anymore. I'm not buying a drink. So, yeah, Farah was definitely after the breakup, so it was 20. I don't hear the casino. Are the casinos there? I don't know. Maybe he just took me out on my 21st birthday for some reason. Whatever. So, in the Astor Street, yeah, and then Matt Benham moved in with Mark towards the end of our relationship, and he had this room. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath little house that he rented from Mike Terrio or something. Terrio had a backyard. He had Dixie then. It was a Dalmatian who he got from Chuck and Nabia. It was Dixie was supposedly Nabia's dog who would pee on Chuck's shoes, and she had to get rid of the dog, or Chuck was going to leave. So Mark takes the dog, or we take the dog, and she's a fun dog. She's a sweet dog. She's just not my dog. This is Mark's dog. I would walk her, I would feed her, I would take care of her. I loved the dog, but I couldn't have a dog in the dorm. I didn't want to have to pay the fee for the apartment for the dog, and I couldn't spend enough time with the dog. He had a backyard, so like he keeps the dog. Fine. But he also kept all my fucking CDs, which really pissed me off. Anyway. So then I'm looking for a job. I'm thinking I'm going to move back into the dorm. I think that summer I did live in the dorm for a class or something. And then I found a job at Calendar's Cafe on Highland, but I didn't know Allie worked there. Allie worked there. So I guess that's why I got hired. I don't know, because she knew me. And Kyle Schecksener was the manager, so he knew me. Charlie was there. I don't know Charlie, but he was there. I'm trying to think. I thought there was one more manager there, but maybe not. Anyway, Allie says, why don't you live with us? So I live with them on Brightside Apartments. Allie and I share a room, and she convinces the others we only pay, like it's in thirds for bedrooms, but we only pay half of a third each, and they pay the other thirds because they have their own bedroom, and they share a bathroom, and I gotta share a bathroom with the pig. Anyway, whatever. The bitch who put orange crap in my fucking foundation. I hate her so much, or him, or it, or whatever it is. So it was me and Allie in one bedroom. I had my own bed. Wendy in the bedroom next to the bathroom, and Melanie in the other bedroom. I don't know Melanie's last name. Wendy is Wendy Fox, like maiden name Wendy Fox. And then Alvira Ann Holland. So somewhere, yeah. Then I guess before that, that's right. I was the camp counselor with Liz, who was the roommate in the dorm. So apparently, I guess I moved back to the dorm for a little bit after I broke with Mark, and then summer came, and she said, "Why don't you apply to be a camp counselor? It's like gifted and talented high school kids come to LSU and they do shit, have classes and crap." I was taking fluids and something else that summer. I don't remember what else I took. Maybe a math class or something. I don't know. So I said, "Sure, why not?" So that was, kind of fun. I have to corral the little girls. Like, come on, you're not sneaking out tonight. Go back to your room, little girls. I got to warn all the college dudes. They're high school kids. They may look old enough, but they're not. They're like you, Tara. You're in high school. All right, so that was fun. Except I tried to play soccer with the kids, and Liz said I was being too competitive. I'm going, I'm not really being competitive. I'm just trying to fucking play with the kids. So that's all I have right now. So dorm, and then Allie. I guess I lived with Allie and Co. till they graduated. I think supposedly graduated till I supposedly graduated. Which would be 96. What's it? Spring of 96. So then summer of 96. I still work at Calendars, and I gotta write some stuff down because I don't remember some more stuff. Right. All right, so pause right there.